part 3 or episode 3 of the 15-minute ass whipping. This one is if you
When you feel like you're failing.
feel like you're failing. When you feel like you're failing, right?
Yes.
All right. Clock starting for 15 minutes in 3, 2, 1. Let's get it.
Here we go.
Let's get it done.
So, when you are feeling like you're not reaching your goal fast enough, maybe you missed a deadline, maybe you had this huge goal that you were aiming for and it flopped, or something that you were putting a lot of stake in that you thought would just be like this spectacular thing kind of fell apart at the seams. Maybe you're going against a mental block, something that you just can't get past in your mind to get you to the next level, right? You feel stuck somewhere. How to take that failure or what feels like failure and use it now to move yourself forward. Because when you're sitting in failure, that can feel pretty icky for a minute. But when you can take a second and flip the perspective and use it to now take that failure and push yourself further than you even intended to go in the first place, that's different. So, how do you get from feeling like upset and like depressed and down on yourself over this failure that you're feeling and move forward?
All right. What do you think?
Well, for me, I mean, I get stuck in this. I don't want to say often, but it's definitely something that I deal with when you're sitting there with, for me, it's the mental block. That's the biggest one because it took some time, but you can stop and see, okay, I've gotten to a point now where if I'm going for a big goal and I miss it, I can stop and think about, okay, well, what did I do? What did I not do? Is this like what part of this is on me that I can now fix or change or tweak or adjust or research or learn or ask someone to then improve it and go for that goal again? Where I get stuck often is in that mental block space where, and you and I have talked about this a million times, when I get stuck in this place where it's like, I see where I want to go and I feel like I'm doing everything I need to do to get there and I'm not getting there and I don't know what I'm missing. And I spend so much time sitting there being like, what am I missing? What am I missing? What am I missing? That I forget to look at what I'm doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but your problem is you just lack patience. Sometimes you don't give it time to work. Like some of the shit you're doing, if it don't work immediately, you get pissed. Or you don't get pissed. Well, yeah, you do. You get frustrated about it because you know it works because it does work. You know it's right because it is right, but it has the audacity to not function or show dividends on your timetable. You can't control everything, man.
The audacity.
Right? So to me, one would be have patience. And neither one of us are very patient
No.
people. Fucking A. Okay. I would say the only difference I know I would no, no, well, no, neither one of us are very patient.
Mhm.
I think clients, this would go right. You motherfuckers know what this shit feels
Yes.
like, right? You
Yeah.
don't realize that you've been slowly putting yourself in a bad spot for decades. You don't realize it because it's just been a little bit at a time,
Mhm.
right?
And
Like
then
when we were all kids and they say you wanna have money when you get older, save money, back when we all believed that the fractional reserve system was actually a good fucking idea, and you might actually make money on your money. Fuck out of here. We all got bamboozled. All right. Anyways, so I'm put that one in, right? So, but if you're just getting started with a goal, you don't realize that it took decades to get in a bad spot. It only feels like it happened overnight because that's what an aha moment does to you.
Mhm.
And you want an aha moment in return, and that's just not how it
Yeah.
works. That's why people do dumb shit like Ozempic or fucking pills or whatever it is, because you
Yeah.
lack the patience to 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 see it through. And the patience also will give you the strength and the fortitude to properly goal plan and set expectations around shit.
Right.
Now, if you set an expectation for ABCD, you've done your research like you do, right?
Mhm.
And okay, this should take this long, and then it doesn't work out in your favor. chances are if you went that long, that far, that you know that that's a possibility and you probably have a plan for that
Mhm.
because now you're prepared.
Mhm.
And you're prepared because you're informed, and
Mhm.
you're informed because you're self-aware. Mm,
Mm.
mm, mm. Fuck out of here, right? But for
Yes.
me, being self-aware,
Mhm.
what I need is not the patience. I need to lie to myself and create shit to feed off of.
Like what?
Like, I'll tell myself, I don't fucking fail. There's no such thing as failure.
Mhm.
There's either winning or learning. There's no losing. The L stands for learning, period.
Yes.
I don't have the patience to plan and da 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 da, but what I've got is the fucking grit.
Yes.
And I've got the will to beat you, period. End
Ye
of fucking story. You want to go 10 steps? I'll go 10.1. I
mm.
don't need to go 20, I'll go 10.1. I win because you're simply not strong enough to beat me. You are not willing to go where I'm willing to go. And mind you, I'm talking to myself.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not necessarily talking about opponents because I do believe that the only motherfucker that's going to stop me is me.
Mhm.
And that's a hard
Yes.
ass fight.
Yeah.
That is the hardest fight we will ever face as adults,
To fight yourself.
especially when you see it happen in your kids and they are spitting images of your stubbornness. That's a hard one to swallow,
Yeah.
right? So you feel like you're failing. What are you failing? What is the failure here?
Yeah.
You what? You failed to prepare, you failed to hit a goal, you failed to focus, you failed to stay disciplined, you failed to love it, you failed to make friends in the process, you failed to save money while doing it, you failed because you did all this shit, the shit happened on your timeline, da 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 da, and you're not happy
Yeah.
because it just wasn't what it was all cracked up to be, right?
Yes.
What? What? Which one is it? Identify that shit.
Mhm.
What do you think?
Well, I agree with everything you said, and I think that, especially with patience is huge. Obviously, we know I'm, like, literally the world's most impatient person alive, and that's something that I work on every single day. But when it gets to the point where you have been patient and you have felt like you've done all of the things and whatever, then at that point, what it goes back to is really reflecting and understanding, did I actually do everything that I needed to do?
Yeah, but at what point? Like during, beginning,
Mhm.
after, when? When
Mhm.
exactly are you talking about?
What do you mean?
When you're talking about did I do everything? Are you talking about after the point came that you're
Yes, after the
actually
point came
saying,
that
"Oh my
you've
god, did I fail?"
yes.
Okay.
But, I mean, you should be doing that along the whole way, but if you're doing that along the
But
whole
for right now, you're talking about we're at the end or whatever.
we're at the end,
You're at
quote,
a point
unquote,
where
you're
you
at
actually are saying, "I failed." Is that right?
yes. Mhm.
All right.
You have to look back and see the steps that you took and how the steps that you took led you to exactly where you are, right? So you said something in a meal prep group yesterday, like when you're talking about eating quote unquote bad food,
Mhm,
tons of sugar, whatever.
mhm.
And you can ask yourself, listen, if I get to the point where my deadline is my goal, my end point, and I haven't hit it, am I going to be okay with myself knowing that this is why? Like, if you're out having ice cream with your kids and you're on vacation, you're making memories or whatever, then, at that point, maybe it's like, okay, yeah, I didn't get exactly where I wanted to go, but I did all these other things that I'm proud of. But if you're going to sit back and look at this and be like, no, I was just being weak. I was just weak in that moment. I didn't do what I needed to do to keep myself strong. Then you're going to be pissed off at yourself
Yeah.
that you missed it. You know what I mean? So it's about like looking back at those moments and understanding, okay, this is what I did, and linking what you did to where you are now and deciding if you're okay with that.
If you think you're gonna take apart or take on a journey that of life-changing value and you're not gonna face hard times and failure, and by failure, I mean moments that didn't go your way or don't seem to be a part of the solution, you're out of your fucking
Out of
mind.
your
There's
mind.
no way. Ain't no shit that's easy.
I mean, every day that goes by, there is something on my mind that I'm like, damn,
Ugh.
I could have done that better.
Hell yeah.
Or why is this not working? Or every single day. And if I let every single one of those get to me, geez, I wouldn't be here, that's for sure. You know what I
Well,
mean?
again,
You'd be stuck.
this goes to the Kiki podcast we had,
Mhm.
and she was like, "How do you deal with it?"
Mhm.
All right, and you're saying, "Oh, if I let it get to me every single day, that you'd be stuck." And my perspective
Mhm.
is, I let it get to me. I broke the valve, let it flood. I know how to swim.
Yes.
Bring that shit.
Yeah.
Watch me do the fucking backstroke.
Yeah, and yes.
Because you cannot have motherfuckers. You can't have success without failure. You can't have
Yes.
a fucking peak without a valley.
And for me, I think that my drive is more like I don't want it to I don't want it to flood me. I want to be like, "No, you're not gonna fucking flood me." And that's my drive to keep going
Yeah,
is because I'm like, I'm not gonna let that get to me because the second I do let it get to me, I'm done. You know
you
what I mean?
soft.
Yeah, I am at times, you
No,
know?
but see, and I don't think I'm joking. I'm totally joking. That's not like, if that's your mindset.
But it's like at that point, my motivation is to be like, "No, like fuck you, no."
Yeah, but you got to see to yourself. So then, if you were my client, I'd say to you, surely you understand that what you're asking is an impossible task. But I love the ambition. I love the confidence because you got to have it, right?
Yes.
Cool. So all I would ask
Mhm,
is, with that ambition and with that confidence,
mhm.
have the confidence
To let it come over you.
to 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 face it when it comes,
Mhm,
and when it does come, and sooner or later it will,
mhm.
that even if you don't have an answer for it, you'll take it like a fucking champ and keep moving. Cool, that didn't try. But see, then you're taking what's called the calculated risk,
Yes.
and you're almost expecting the bad shit. Mother, I wish you would come this way. There's a difference because
Yes.
one, you're caught off guard, and one,
Yes.
you're not,
Mhm.
right? You'd be surprised. You go down a dark alley and you're armed. You ain't afraid to go down a dark alley,
Right.
right? The reality is, if there's a dark alley and you're armed, you're not even going down the dark alley. That's a fact,
Yeah.
because you're ready to escalate,
Yes.
right? That's the
Mhm,
first thing I learned when I got my conceal and carry here in this
mhm.
shithole fucking state. With my temper, I knew I'm gonna stay away, because I have the ability to escalate,
Mhm.
right? I have the ability to escalate. And I get to Oklahoma, we're trying to do the bug sprays and shit, and the guy down there he's taking care of pest control and whatnot. One thing you're gonna find down here in Oklahoma, about 51% of people down here are armed. Man, I lifted up my shirt. I said, "My man, me too. Me too." He goes, "Oh, you're gonna fit right in." I said, "Well, I'm hoping so." He goes, "I don't know why you're armed at home." I said, "My man, I don't know you." He
Yeah.
goes, "Oh, you are from Chicago." You're fucking right, I am, boy. You know what I mean? So, but I'm prepared, right? Like,
Yes.
if you're just getting started and you have stopped in the past, started over, right? Started from experience, or you failed, or or it's just taken longer than you wanted. You don't ever, if you're going through hell, don't stop.
Yeah. Oh, that's one of my
That's
favorite.
not failure. That's progress. If you're going through hell, you keep going. Why would you stop in
Yes.
hell?
You
Hell no. Go get that. That's yours.
yes.
The harder it is, if it's easy, it's probably wrong. You keep fighting.
That's right.
Learn to calculate your risks. Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, we're getting good at
We
this.
are getting good at this.
Next.